Well, it's Saturday, November 18th. It's noon Eastern time. I'm Bob Harris. This is the Football Diehards YouTube channel. It's time for our weekly Ask Me Anything live stream, and the football gods will be sure we have plenty of work to do. Again, this week, heading into week 11 and beyond, I'm joined today by Yard guys who wait until right as I'm starting to do the single loudest thing possible, but I think they'll be done soon. So bear with me, everybody. We'll get through this all together. Appreciate y'all coming, of course. Before we get into the good stuff, I want to remind you, FootballDiehards.com is the website. We appreciate you joining us here every Saturday at this very time. Also, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time for our On the Hot Seat videos. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Those are right below me, right there. Hit them and then like me or dislike me. I'll go ahead and dislike me now because I want to break the seal so everyone feels comfortable with that. Appreciate again everyone coming on these days. Great to see everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Here we go. We're coming right out. Benching Saquon for Singletary this week. Don't at me, says John Bonville. We got a lot of hard decisions to make. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jesse. How are you today? Good morning. Andrea, how are you? Nice to see you. Such a pleasure to see everyone's smiling faces. Hello, George. Hello, Steve Lindor. Good morning, Dominic Conte. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time, everybody. Rookie is in the house. Always good news there. John Fusek saying good morning as well. So many of you out there. Appreciate all your time and your attention, of course, as we work through all these things. Look, I think the Yard guys might be done for a minute. It's amazing how they work that out. So, look, it's not the best week for all of us, right? And if you're an AFC North aficionado, we have a lot of injuries to work through. Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Mark Andrews, all done for the season, essentially. The Joe Burrow thing, we can get into that if y'all want. Appreciate the interest there, but moving forward, we'll have all your lineup questions as well, and any free agent moves that are going to be based on these horrible injuries that have. But man, some of these cut a little bit. Mark Andrews is going to leave people in the pinch. There are players that have risen up or kind of unexpected. I also want to talk a little bit. I've had a lot of questions on the radio program. By the way, you should listen to the radio program. It's on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. On every Monday, Thursday, Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We go 3 hours on Monday and Thursday. We're on again Saturday. I'll be on tonight from 8 to 11. It's on NFL Radio and the Fantasy Channel. So if you want to call in, you got to use the NFL number, but you can listen on either channel. Sunday, that's 11 to 1 p.m. I'm on with Jeff Mans doing the pregame show. We get you all the last minute information you need. And then we do it all over again. So rinse and repeat. So we'll get into your questions here momentarily. I did want to address one thing, though. I've been getting a lot of questions about Josh Allen, right? And I get it, right? There's a change of offensive coordinator in Buffalo. There's concerns, and I think we need to take the negative perceptions. Like I was down on Chris Olave for a little while, just almost solely because Derek Carr seemed to be down on him, based on like a single route, poorly run route, and also a poorly thrown pass, by the way. But you get the perception that someone's on the outs because you see a negative connotation. It's not been great. Everything wasn't great for Josh Allen. And so I've gotten a lot of questions like, would I start Joshua Dobbs over Josh Allen? Would I start Brock Purdy? I mean, they're both ranked in the top 10, Purdy and Allen. If you feel like that's a good move for you and you like the matchups, that's fine. The Jets are a tough matchup. I just want to, just how I try to do this is I try to set up a depth chart. You hear Jeff Mans talks about this all the time, and I think it's a wise way to do this. Good morning, Mr. Scampers. Good morning, all. Good to see everybody, of course. But I think the idea is to set up a depth chart. Like on my fantasy football depth chart, Josh Allen is the number one quarterback. It's not just based on week to week. It's based on his historic rate of production, right, over the last 3 years, and so. And I do this so I don't have these weekly conundrums where I put myself in a position to vacillate, go back and forth and stress over a lineup decision. I play my starter, right? So you say, well, gosh, you always say divorce the name from the numbers, Bob, and shouldn't we do that? Well, yes, we should. And so we should look at the numbers and we should look at Josh Allen. So what is our negative perception of Josh Allen? It wasn't a great game his last game. They fired his offensive coordinator. All these things are horrible. Yet still, I look at Josh Allen right now, and he's averaging 23.6 fantasy points a game. Only one quarterback in the NFL is producing more fantasy points per game, Jalen Hurts at 23.7. I also say that Justin Herbert kind of have a negative perception of him, like it's been a down year. He's third per game. 21 points per game. Dak Prescott fourth at 20 points per game. Patrick Mahomes all the way down to fifth in points per game at 19.9. In general, he's quarterback 8, right, in overall total production. I try to focus on the weekly production, the weekly average points, and leave it at that. But so don't let the overall negative perception, sway you. Go in, investigate the numbers, see where everything stands before you make these hard and fast decisions, or you start making lineup decisions that like make emotional reactions in the moment and kind of look at the big picture. We're playing a game of probability. It's that simple, right? What's more likely? Is Josh Allen more likely to have a big game than Josh Dobbs? History suggests yes. Recent history, maybe not. But that's the thing. We get caught up in the recent history. So there's my little rant. It's over and out for you. I'll get into your questions now. Again, appreciate you all. Hope you're in new stuff and get to questions a little more easily here. And I appreciate you bearing with me as I work with the new technology. Old dog, new tricks. I can handle it. Steve Linder in the house with a question. Hope all is well. It is. I need to pick 2 running backs to start out of these 4. Here's an interesting question. So I like this example right off the bat. Brian Robinson versus the New York Giants, James Conner versus the Texans, Rachaad White versus the 49ers, Singletary versus the Cardinals. I will tell you, these 4 players are ranked consecutively. I believe the order is almost how you list them. What do I have here? I have James Conner. No. So James Conner at 18, Brian Robinson at 19, Rachaad White at 20, Devin Singletary at 21. This is maybe a good example when you look at the recent history. Devin Singletary is an easy call, right? He's coming off AFC Player of the Week honors, 150-plus yards. It's easy to forget the week before it was horrible, right? And there's a big passing component to that offense. I probably, first of all, if you can't play Brian Robinson, when can you play him, right? New York Giants, and there's no Antonio Gibson, or at least he's listed as doubtful, right? So that's going to be a little bit of an issue for him. I'm probably going to go Robinson and Conner. You could make a good argument for White. It's a tough matchup against the 49ers, but they're pretty generous to receiving backs. And that's what Rachaad White is become. His value is as a receiver. So, again, all 4 of these guys ranked in the same 4 spots consecutively. There isn't a wrong answer here, Steve. So, but I hope that helped you sort it out. Steve Pavia has a "Can I trust?" question. No, you can trust me. You can trust me. Trust yourself. Can I trust Saquon Barkley at running back or flex, or should I insert a Rashee Rice or a Jaylen Warren? I trust Saquon's volume, right? And I know there's been some chatter, and I've initiated some of it. I've been, out there wondering, will the Giants shut Saquon Barkley down? What are they? So far, I don't see signs of that. The reporting this week is it won't happen. I'm still going to play the more certain volume. I do like Rashee Rice this week. It's a great matchup. I think he's to assert himself. Like if you woke me up at 3 in the morning and put a flashlight in my face, who's Kansas City's wide receiver 1? Who is it? Rashee Rice. I mean, it's not certain. And we've talked about this, kind of this is a Patrick Mahomes snap by snap decision, but Rashee Rice has established himself. Warren's a solid weekly play, right? I think, in just about any case, he's a solid weekly play. Just want to see how far apart they are in the rankings. Barkley, we have right outside the running back 1 range at 13. Warren down a little bit lower in the running back 2 range. I mean, they're both in a similar range, but at opposite ends. I'm playing Barkley. You know what his upside is. Like, Warren's an explosive threat. And this is the thing about all this, right? I stress this all the time. These are your teams, not my teams, right? So, if you have a hunch, if you have a feeling, if you like, this is the week Saquon Barkley's going off the rail, pulling him out of the game, it's going to be a horrible beatdown. They're not going to be able to do anything. I'll suggest, what else are they going to do? I don't know. So, so I'm going to stick with Barkley in this one, Steve, and give and hope for the best. Steve Lindor, point per completion league, need to pick either Trevor Lawrence against the Titans or Kyler Murray against the Texans. Look, it's not been going well for Trevor Lawrence, right? I hope they get it on track. This is for me, a pretty close call, but I'll just acknowledge Lawrence is not playing well. I would like to bench him. Kyler Murray's coming off a single great game, or at least a super encouraging. Texans are not like the best matchup, but they've had some injuries. They haven't been playing up. I'm probably going with Kyler Murray because of the mobility. And playing him, I think that's, for me, Kyler Murray's at the tail end of the quarterback one, and Lawrence has worked his way out of the quarterback one conversation for me. So that's the direction I'm going. Tennessee Titans, you could throw against them. But I would like to see a little more evidence that this offense is taking a step forward. I saw enough evidence last week for me to go with Kyler Murray. Mike Arts, I missed you too, Mike Arts. Where have you been? The question is Tua versus Vegas or Herbert versus Green Bay. Again, we're looking at a situation where these are the kind of situations you want to be in, where you drafted guys like I'm guessing you drafted Tua well after Herbert, right? Probably so. I mean, that would be my experience. I'm going to play Tua this week against the Raiders, and they're both top 10 quarterbacks. If you had a strong feeling to the contrary, go ahead. I mentioned the point is pretty strong for Justin Herbert, so go with that. I think we're all playing the upside of Tua. We're hoping for that huge game. And if I want to go out and look at the numbers a little bit, who is at 19.2 points per game average weekly scoring, 21 points for Herbert. He's had some lesser games, so has Tua. So, feel free to make your adjustments. I'm gonna play Tua in this one because I love the upside. I want the home run play. I'm a greedy SOB. Mike Hart also Ferguson or Carr versus Carolina. Not Derek Carr. He's not playing Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not playing this week. By the way, if I didn't mention this, there's teams on the buys. Atlanta, the Colts, New England, and New Orleans. Not a ton of huge fantasy assets in those games, but get them out of your line, including Derek Carr. McBride versus Houston is the play here, right? The guy's coming on 32% target share since Zach Ertz has been out. Houston, very generous in tight ends position as a defense. Man, McBride's a player on the rise, and Zach Ertz's absence. He was rising before Zach Ertz, left, right? He was getting the job done. Ertz was still drawing more than right up until he left, and he had more catches, but McBride was doing more with his catches. Definitely a super nice upside play and an emerging weapon for sure. I'm playing him, and Ferguson's a solid play, right? And this is a decent matchup, and he's in a great offense, like all those things. But don't like them more than I like McBride. Steve Lindor with a question: PPR league tight end need to pick between Freiermuth versus Cleveland, and he's expected to be activated. IR look for that by 4 p.m. or according to Tom Pelissero this morning, by the time they hit the road for their trip. Maybe while we're talking, even I've been watching my Dick Tracy watch to see what's going on. Google it, kids. I know some of you are like, how old are you? I'm pretty freaking old. We'll go with that. So on the Conklin one, Matthew Berry had a nice little note. I think it is love-hate this week. Conklin, back-to-back games, 6+ catches, 65 receiving yards. And Buffalo, they ranked bottom 10 in yards allowed per position was Berry's contention. So I like that matchup. I like that information. Way to go, Matthew Berry. Thank you, sir. So that's the direction I go. I know it seems a little off schedule, but right now, Freiermuth, I'd like to give him a week to work his way back in the mix. He's like kind of semi-reliable. I don't see a lot of upside in that passing attack. So there's that. Like I see a lot of upside in the Jets passing attack. No, but Kyler Conklin seems to be a reliable place. All right, John Fusek, what do we got here? Dubs versus Chargers or Henderson versus Seattle for the flex? I'm going Henderson versus Seattle, a little more generous to the run. I know he's splitting it up with Roy Freeman. This is kind of like maybe I just want to get him one last shot before Kyron Williams is back. That should be next week. He's eligible to come off IR, so we'll see how that goes. Sean McVay has hinted that he'll be right back in the mix once he's back, so we got that going for us. See if maybe Darrell Henderson's earned a role going forward. Maybe it'll be more of a split than it was before Williams was hurt. Questions we'll have to have answers to going forward. Like Romeo Dubs is a great matchup. Chargers super generous for the passing game. I would like it to be a better passing game, and like Dubs has been a reasonably reliable that passing attack, but none of it's been high end. And the Packers, what is the scoring of the Packers doing here? I want to say it's not a lot. In fact, that I'm checking because the number seemed alarmingly low. It's not as low as I thought. 182 total points, 10 games. It's not great. So that's a problem. By the way, I agree with this comment wholeheartedly. Like and subscribe. Do those things. In case you just tuned in, I'm Bob Harris, the FootballDiehards.com website. can hear me on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio as well. Many days a week, Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Dial it up, people. You can catch me here every Saturday at noon. You can catch me here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Fantastic guest. I don't know who the next guest is going to be. Steve Linder with another question. PPR need to set one out of DK versus Rams. DK Metcalf, that is. Debo Samuel versus Tampa Bay. Hollywood Brown versus Texans. Brian Robinson versus Giants. I'm not sitting any of them. Where's my big fake desk? I would pound my big fake desk and say they're all playing. But if you can't play one, I think it's going to be Debo. Let me double check that. Let me see what the algorithm thinks about my contention here. I think it's going to agree with me. It is. Just checking my number. Oh, like Debo. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. It's closer than I thought. This is tough. I don't want to sit any of so I guess it's going to be Hollywood versus the Texans. There's no way I'm sitting Brian Robinson against the Giants with no Antonio Gibson. I'm expecting a big game. DK Metcalf. I like it. Maybe I'm a little overweight. I like DK Metcalf as a tournament play this week. See Samuel. You know, it's Marquise Brown. I'm sad to say it's Marquise Brown. These are all great options, and this is why it's a hard question. Steve also needs to sit one out of. Oh, did I just do this one? Yeah. Did you do that twice? Yes. Stop it. Hello, Bob, says George. Murray or Stroud. This is going to come to me in just a brief moment as quarterbacks can try and figure this out. Stroud. CJ Stroud. It should have come to me immediately. Half point PPR. So Murray Stroud, I'm playing Stroud. Half point PPR, Tank Delaware, Charbonnet, or Tyson Spears. You get one of those. Oh, those two. It'd be Charbonnet over Spears for me. I want to say it's Ayuk over Dell, but let me double check. That's pretty close one. Like Dell's been phenomenal. But it seems like the entire receiving corps is going to be back. Well, might be back. I think Noah Brown probably is. I'm gonna go Ayuk over Dell. And I wish I didn't have such hard decisions. Dominic Conti, do you start Jacoby Myers versus Miami or Ty Chandler versus Denver at the flex? Would it depend on if Madison is out or you have a regardless? So it would depend on if Madison is out. And here's the thing. Minnesota has to make the trip to Denver, right? And some indication Madison's not. If he's ruled out, maybe he won't. So that's kind of what I'm watching for in the background. That's going to be one of the key decision makers. Otherwise, watch the overnight report on FootballDiehards.com and see if there's anything semi-definitive or a word that Madison is cleared. That's what he's looking for. He's in the concussion protocol. He seems to be progressing through it, but I don't know that he's all the way there. He's officially listed as questionable. So if there was no, and it's a Sunday night kickoff, everyone's wondering, well, what's the big deal? That's why it's a hard decision, right? To sort this out. So I would play Jacoby Myers if there was a match, I'm pretty sure. Because, I mean, once he's cleared, I don't think it's going to be, an issue of, will they play him or not? They'll play him. So, and I think it'll be a split, though, but I want that split. I mean, I'm not sure I want a piece of that necessarily. Against Denver, who really playing better. Against one piece, quietly, they're getting better. And it was bad, so better is a relative thing. So Jacoby Myers would be the call. So watch overnight. I'm sorry, that's the best I got for you. Maybe we'll hear something. Maybe my secret agent watch will tell me that somebody didn't get on the plane. Tommy Franey, good morning. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, or Rashad White can only choose two. I'm going to have to go down to the flex rankings here at the FootballDiehards.com website. Very convenient. Rashad White is looking pretty good with this matchup. I'm probably playing the two wide receivers. Can make a good argument for Rashad White. If I didn't play Rashad White, it would be Jalen Waddle would be the one who sits out. Golf Boy has a question. PPR, Brandon Cooks at Carolina, Jordan Addison at Denver, or Ridley versus Tennessee. I'm going to throw Ridley out. Just boom bust, and it's very more bust than boom. I apologize for that because I was a big Calvin Ridley supporter. This is based on A lot of evidence, a lot of eyes on the ground in Jacksonville. It looked phenomenal in training camp. Hasn't quite put it all together. He's been very close, but again, it's kind of boom busty and more busty than boomy. So Jordan Addison, I mean, I was pretty sure there was no Justin Jefferson, and all that later today. They elevated Justin Jefferson from the practice squad or activated from the practice squad by 4 p.m. Eastern time. If he's going to play, and if he's going to play, that cuts the top off, and I might go Brandon Cooks. It's been a good day. It hasn't been a good season, right? But last week was a good game. We're expecting a big, week against Carolina this week, I think. So, uh, you so sour on Addison. Let me just double check. Probably would play Addison either way. Maybe I'm going overboard on the matchup. Probably going to play Addison either way. You're me? This? Us? This is fantastic. It's my favorite thing to do every week. Love sitting here going through the questions, getting a little chance to interact with everybody. All my favorite peoples are here. Some of them are past. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Let's see what we have here. Kirk, Ford, Nico Collins, or James Cook. Need one. Probably gonna play Jerome Ford in this group. I want to say, like Jerome Ford is slowly winning me over. Maybe he already should have. Right, Pittsburgh not the stoutest not the stoutest run defense on earth. You think they're going to run the ball a lot with Dorian Thompson Robinson in that quarterback? I'm thinking so. So yeah, that would be the direction I go. They're all good, reasonably good pieces. The question with James Cook is, it was great late game one last week. Did they learn something from this? Did they learn their offensive coordinator? Did Joe Brady, the new offensive coordinator? Oh wow, I need to do some more of that. I need to do some more of that. I don't know if he's going to say that. So I could take away. I like Christian Kirk as well. Like Nico Collins. By the way, the Texas receiving core I mentioned is getting healthier. It seems like Noah Brown probably is not going to play. He's listed as questionable. Aaron Wilson, who's a reliable local reporter there, says that the expectation is he will not play. So, but they're getting close to having that entire receiving core. Then you wonder what's going to happen. Every week there's been a missing piece. Everybody's been doing great because of the missing piece. So. John Bongo, I'm going to talk about this with John Bongo. I bet you take one for Singletary this week. Don't at me. I will not at you, but we will discuss. Like it's reasonable, and I think the volume will be there, so I'm okay playing it. It's a huge, matchup. They're both in the. So here's the thing for me, right? If you go and see what the algorithm has put out, but it suggests them, and I use these as guidelines, right? Like I don't adhere 100% to the rankings. You all know why. Because there are rankings and players. I'm looking more at the tiers than the specific number. I know you all know the number. The number is 13 for Barkley and 21 for Great matchup for Singletary. One of the best matchups in the game. The matchup for the Giants is Washington not as good. Saquon's the only thing they have there. Makes it easier to focus on him. There's questions, will cut him down. I don't think they will, and I'm still betting that they won't. But this is like a super reasonable, approach here. They're both in the same range. I'll just remind you again with Singletary last week, off the rails, fantastic. The week before, off the rails, horrible. Right? So it's been a mixed bag, and the recency tells you that this is good and that you should play him. I think I might make the same. And it's possible. I think if I had this, like if I had this decision 5 times, I might go Singletary 3. So. I don't think it's crazy at all. Appreciate everyone coming. Hello, everybody. Let's see what we got here. Need 2. Walker, Swift, Achane. So we'll talk about Achane a little later today. George Fulton reported on Thursday that he is going to be active. Friday, Mike McDaniel came out and said he's optimistic, but it's not official. We'll know by 4 p.m. today, Eastern time. And if he's playing, I'm playing him. And I'm probably playing Swift. It's very close with D and Walker. Right? Like, I want to say Swift is 8, Walker is 15. He's been losing some shares, some snaps to Zach Charbonnet. I think before we get too overheated at all that, we should realize that Charbonnet's been getting more snaps in part because DJ Dallas has been beat up and he's been handling more of a receiving role Charbonnet has than he had prior to that. So that's part of the reason why he's getting more snaps. But, it's a concern. It's a little bit of a limiting factor if he's getting all those snaps for and Kenneth Walker, who's still handling the bulk of the running attempts. Jim, if you're not getting a link, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified and you'll get an email every single time. He needs one, Cooper or Rasheed Rice or Jake Ferguson. This is one where I would probably seriously consider Rasheed Rice, right? Like, I don't need to experiment in Dorian Robinson's first whole week of preparation. I mean, I think will it be better than last time? Yes, it was pretty bad last time. Rasheed Rice is playing against the Philadelphia defense, plays with Patrick Mahomes. Most pretty good. I'm probably going that direction. And I think, like, I think you could go either way and feel pretty good about yourself. Jake Ferguson would be a great fallback option if these guys were like questionable or something. I think there's a little more upside. Great offense, but a lot of well, I think, says Steve Pavia, Quentin Johnston or Robert Woods are worth a sneaky start. Yeah. I mean, like, depending on what they're on. I think they're both like nice little, maybe tournament tosses. Robert Woods seems like, kind of been the odd man out without Noah Brown. If there is no Noah Brown, I think it's more likely for Woods. Like, I want to play the other Texas receivers. I mean, if you're asking me which receiver to play, it's going to be Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Schultz over Robert Woods, but he does have a role. Quentin Johnston is a little more interesting, especially with Jalen Guyton beat up. He was added to the report on Friday, so that's worth noting. I think it was a hip. Open my big fat trap. Jalen Guyton, it is a groin. Ouch, that's painful. So there you go. So yeah, Quentin Johnston for sure. Andrea has a great question, as she always does. Andrea's questions are great because you get drafted. You would not believe. So she has decisions. Like Nico versus Arizona, Tank Dell versus Arizona, Rasheed Rice, Philadelphia, and a half-point PPR. That's tough. I have them ranked Dell, Collins, and Rice. And I think that's the order I like them too, Andrea. I think I like them in that order. That's a good problem to have. Andrea always has great problems. This is the thing when you draft great, you have great problems. Devin Singletary or Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams against me. So I say my gut feeling is Javonte Williams, and the algorithm agrees with me. Again, Singletary was great. If you think he's going to duplicate last week's performance, he's great. I have him a little higher up. Javonte Williams a little higher up. The workload's been great for Javonte Williams, I want to say. Let's just look at what that is. And I think that's something that maybe is easy to overlook. So the last two games, 21 carries against Buffalo, 27 carries against KC, 15 carries the week before, 10 carries. So you can see that it's been trending up. I also want to say he's had like four catches, so 25 total touches, 30 touches the week before, including 3 catches. So the workload is kind of normalized for Javonte Williams back to kind of pre-injury. So I'm going to play that. I feel pretty comfortable with that. There is not a wrong answer again here. 2 quarterback leagues, says Dominic Conti. So quarterbacks like gold for this year, and mod should watch. It's about gold and human nature. Fantastic. What is your opinion of Browning rest of the season for Cincinnati? Do you think at least he will start with his job, or will? I don't think they will go sneaky. I get Cleveland did it with Dorian Thompson. I don't think so, and here's why. Because Jake Browning spent the entire training camp with starters, right? Remember, Joe Burrow couldn't practice first practice on. So it was all Jake Browning. And I think they're they're saddled with him now. And like there were a couple of things I saw that were like, I don't want to overstate the case here. Jake Brown, Joe Burrow. We have to figure out how to go forward. I thought like he made some aggressive throws when he came in. There was one in particular, went downfield to Jamar Chase. The pass was slightly out of bounds. Chase caught it slightly out of bounds. Maybe next time with the full week of preparation, they get a little closer on the same page. They dialed that all in. But I think the key here is that Jake Browning was the guy all summer, right? He got all the starting snaps. So I'm going to go with that, Dominic, and with their word, and hopefully they don't change this up. I don't know that they really, change this up. I think they explained it pretty well in in Cleveland. They want to get Dr. Robinson in a full week of practice. The prior time, they didn't know if he was going to play or not, and they felt like they didn't prepare him well. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did, and he's not good. We'll find out. Hi, Drew. Robinson Jr. or Devontae Smith PPR flex starting Achane, Eckler, Keenan, and Waddle. I'm probably going to go with Robinson Jr. here. Devontae Smith comes up with the big game. Maybe we'll see more of that with Dallas Goedert out, or now at least. I'm hopeful for Devontae Smith, but I think Robinson Jr., Brian Robinson, is in a really great spot. Again, it's against the Giants. Antonio Gibson, if he did not catch it, is listed as doubtful for this game. Just take a quick minute here to maybe look at some of those things, just in case all of you haven't been following along at home and you're not sure what's going on with the injury issues. Justin Fields should be back. Matthew Stafford's fine. We talked about Achane should be activated from IR today. That's by 4 p.m. Alexander Madison is questionable with the head injury, the concussion. Maybe he won't make the trip Sunday night kickoff, so that makes it a little tricky. Khalil Herbert should be activated off IR this week. Justin Jefferson should be activated off IR this week. All these have to happen by 4 p.m. Eastern time. Same with Cap Freiermuth. They say that will happen. Some other guys that are a little bit. Antonio Gibson, I mentioned, is doubtful. Damian Pierce is out. Keenan Allen questionable, but practiced fully the last 2 days. Jalen Guyton questionable with a groin, so that's something. Garrett Wilson has an elbow injury. He is questionable. I think he will probably play. He says he's going to play. How about that? We'll put it like that. And welcome to Yard. I'm happy they showed up again. I thought they might be done, but they thought otherwise. Just a few of the injury issues we're working through. Let me get up here again so I can bring it through. The Monday night game, Dallas Goedert probably not going to play. Sunday night, we'll worry about Madison Jefferson. Tyler Lockett's questionable as well, and Carroll said he's like very questionable. That's odd. That's unusual. Zay Jones could return this week. We'll see. By the way, for the Chargers, Gerald Everett is out, so it is going to be the Donald Parham show. Did I mention Deshaun Watson's hurt? I think I did. Those are all the big ones we got out of the way. Oh, for the Arizona Cardinals, no Amari DiMarcado this week. He's ruled out. Michael Wilson was added to the injury report as on Friday with the same shoulder injury he's been playing through. So there you have it. Also, we'll take a moment here to remind you, I'm Bob Harris. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Appreciate everyone coming here every Saturday. Try to get through all your questions. What's going on here? And through some things. You know what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to tell you what I do and why I do it. And you can kind of use that as part of your calculus, sort through your own issues. And at the end, it's your decision and you have to live with it. I don't. So, if you have a hunch, play your hunch. Get a lot of questions, a lot of Josh Allen questions. Josh Allen, or my answer is almost always going to be Josh Allen. But if your answer is not, it's okay. I'll give you the temperature check and are you crazy or not crazy kind of situation. And I know some of you are looking for that. And I'll try to help you out. Oh, look at here. My good friend Wendy Early's in the house. Having some audio issue. What are the audio issues? Put it in the chat if you're having audio issues. I'd like to hear. Appreciate that heads up. Some new techniques. If I need to make adjustments, I will. Are we getting the occasional garbling? Is that what you're saying? I hate that part. Here we go. Jake Felicio with the most pertinent question: boxers or brief? I think it's the combo, like the lengthy briefs. I don't know if they're boxers. I think he. Let's see. Where did I leave off? I lost my spot. Now we'll get back into it here. I think I had Andrea's Nico. Did that one. Put Dominique in there. All right, let's pick up where I left off then. Oh, I need two. Andrea. Mostert versus Vegas. Pacheco versus Philadelphia. Javonte Williams versus Minnesota. James Conner versus Houston. Ty Chandler versus Denver. This one, I'm going to go Mostert. Even if H is back, I'm going to go Javonte Williams. These are all great choices. I don't like the Pacheco matchup, especially. It's not my favorite against Philadelphia. I think this might be a pass heavy approach, but we can see. But you have great options beyond that, as you always do. Purdy versus Tampa or Gino versus the LA Rams. I think I'm going to go Purdy in this. Tampa Bay. That was his first against. Uh, how are you, Albert? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Steve needs two out of James Conner versus Texas, Singletary versus Carr. We did this one. How many times do I have to do this, Steve? But I did do this one, so I'll go back. Sorry. If you're patient, I work through every single question, right? So I'm going down the list and I'm hitting them all. So if you think I missed you and you're repeating the question, give it a minute because I'm behind on the questions. STP 11, yes, I'm starting Tank Dell. That's perfectly reasonable. Ferguson versus or Schultz versus Arizona. I'm probably going Schultz here. I mean, they're both pretty good matchups. Schultz is hard for me to sit right now. Think of you look at the up and coming young tight ends or the tight ends who are getting it done right now. You look at Sam Laporta, Dalton Kincaid, McBride. I think Schultz is right in with that group. Ferguson is like right outside that group for me, right? So, but certainly, still, let's not kid ourselves. He's in the tight end one range, so feel free. In regards to you setting your starting lineup, Fields, Murray, or Stroud, same with Tank Dell or in regards to your starting lineup. If it's your starting lineup, you get to start who you want. If it's my starting lineup, I'm starting Stroud, probably Murray, then Fields. I'll give Fields a week, see what he's looking like. I like Ayuk over Tank Dell. I don't think there's a wrong answer there, George. So there you got that. How are you? Who are some of my look at Eric? Who are some of my favorite DFS plays this week? Well, here's what I would suggest. My favorite DFS play is the live stream from Friday night. You should go to the YouTube channel, watch Eric and Jamie play, go through all the entire slate. It's a great watch. I listen to it as I'm getting ready for my Diehards radio program on Friday night. And then they go long, and I don't get to hear the end. Go back to listen afterwards. It's not a complaint. It's saying it like it is. Like so, if you go check out my DFS 3 and out column, I like to play tournaments. I'm not a big cash game player. I like tournaments. It's like having a lottery ticket to while you're watching the games. Some players I like this week. The theme of my column was overdue players, due or overdue. Tony Pollard, I like. Although the ownership is a little, people would be off him, right? And they're not off him as much as I expected. So I like Tony Pollard, though. Price is not exorbitant. I like DK Metcalf. I think the touchdowns should be coming soon. And the off the wall one is Christian Watson, who is so far overdue. It's ridiculous. It's a really favorable matchup for him. Price is dropped accordingly. So feel free. Uh, Beyond that, I'm going to go back and re-listen to the live stream Friday night DFS lineup show with Eric and Jamie. Go check it out. It's right here on the YouTube channel. You will find it there. Watch and listen and learn. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence against Tennessee or CJ Stroud against Arizona. CJ Stroud all day long for me. Andrea, hard not to play him. Oh, Scott Hedge. We're like 2 days apart. We are Scorpios. I don't know what that means, being a Scorpio. I'm not familiar. I'm told we are horrible people, so good for us. Greg needs two. Godwin, Devontae, Adam Thielen, or Tank Dell. Wish Adam Thielen would turn back into Adam Thielen. He is not yet. I'm playing Godwin and Tank Dell, or Adams and Tank Dell in this one. And wait and see. Like a little hopeful that with Frank Reich taking the play calling back over, that maybe that that seems like the bulk of Adam Thielen was more quarterback one. Maybe teams have adjusted though. Might be more that than the play calling. Conte, standard league at flex, go with Ford versus Pittsburgh, Connor versus Houston, or H-Chan versus Las Vegas. If H-Chan's playing, I think it's hard to not go with H-Chan, just in my opinion. If you feel uncomfortable or you'd like to give it a week, I'd go Connor would be my next choice. But I don't think there's you know, I like Ford. Ford's growing on me as well, and but it's still, a little murkier of a split there. And I know Achan's gonna split with Mostert. I'm pretty much willing to take that chance. If you want, like, the safest play is maybe Connor. He's getting the workload. Hi, Bob. Hi, Jason. Pick 2 out of 3 in a PPR, Trey McBride versus Houston, Tank Dell versus Arizona, DJ Moore versus Detroit. I'm probably playing McBride and Dell. I'm gonna go check my numbers here on DJ Moore. You leave someone out of the game and you're thinking, "Why the hell?" So I Tank Dell ranked slightly ahead. They're 23 and 24. Like, so you felt like Moore was the guy and you wanna get him back in with Fields game from. I have a theory that if you've been coming around these live streams, I don't necessarily need to play the breakout return. The same with like a guy like Theo who's had a couple down games, right? I would like him to get back. Am I going to keep playing him? Like, I don't want to miss out on that big return game. No, if I get that big return game, then I can adjust going forward. Tank Hill has continued to be very productive, and the numbers have been fantastic. How fantastic have they been? Pretty fantastic. Maybe I should look and see so I'm not saying anything. Tank Dell, 14 targets last week, caught 6 of them for 56 yards, a touchdown. He had 18 fantasy points for the second straight game. Fourth time this season he's gone over 8. So I'm probably just gonna, it seems like it's going well for that pass. That's what I'm doing. Jason also needs one in a non-PPR. Christian Watson versus Chargers, Romeo Dubs versus Chargers, or Gabe Davis versus Jets. I'd probably go Romeo Dubs. I said I like Christian Watson. That's in the tournament. I'm dart tossing there. I'm trying to get semi-contrarian plays that maybe people are off of. It is a great matchup, though, and probably would prefer that Gabe Davis, the Jets, less so. Let's see. Swizz in the house. Hi, Swizz. Nico, Puka, Dell, Connor, sit one. Why would you? I might have to sit Nico. Gonna sit Nico. There, you made me do it. Sit Nico is who I'm sitting. Hope the sound's okay. Let me scroll down, see if anyone's having problems hearing me. Mm, hmm. So I guess the sound is horrible. Well, that sucks. Should I just stop? Is it that bad? Should I not finish the hour? It's useless. I don't want to waste your time. No, I have like the sound playing back in my, behind me, and it sounds okay to me. So I don't know. I'll work on it for the next show. Sorry, apologies, everybody. Um, Sad and disappointed now. Okay. So is I more locked in? Any health concerns about Keenan Allen? I don't think so. He practiced fully the last 2 days. Um, yes, Lockett is questionable with a hamstring, and very questionable according to Pete Carroll. Well, I'll just go ahead and struggle through. I hope you can hear some of this and it's not totally a waste of your time. PPR, James Cook versus Jets or Jerome Ford versus Pittsburgh. Ranked consecutively. I'm going to lean Ford. Man, I'm so disappointed that the audio. I'm seeing all the audio comments. I totally apologize. I don't know what to do about it. It's like I go on podcasts all the time. I use the same equipment. I've never had a single word about it. So apologies. I have another setup I'll try to use next week. So maybe we should just call it a day. It's cleared now? Okay. All right. We'll roll through it. I hate not delivering. Makes me very irritated. Audio is a little broken. All right. I'll try and get through this and I think that's where I'm at. I think he's gonna get off. So do you describe and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell? That should get you the email. I think we're having a little trouble with emails from the site. I'll work on that too. I am disappointing out of everybody today, and I apologize. PPR guillotine, need two. Montgomery versus Chicago, Hollywood versus Houston, Diggs versus New York, Amano versus LA. Really scared of Diggs. Oh, I'm trying not to be scared of Diggs, but I get it. It'd be hard for me not to play Montgomery for sure. So that's an easy one. If I wasn't playing Diggs, I would play Watt Campers. And I get it. I would start to run forward. I think this is probably going to be a run heavy game with Dorian Thompson Robinson in a quarterback. It's a three-way split or probably a two-way split with a murky third man. You're strong coming in and screwing things up. Uh, if I talked about the struggles of the Giants offense, I think yeah, I think I have. I mean, we've talked a little bit about in general whether we want to keep playing Saquon Barkley or not. And I do think it's a fair question. It's like what for 11 points per game. They're not even scoring 12 points a game. It's a struggle, right? I mean, it's been historically bad. So if you wanted to start, I think that's setting me up for this question. If you wanted to start Connor over Saquon Barkley, it's perfectly fine. Connor gets the ball. I want to play volume, right? I'm still interested in playing Barkley because I think he can get something done. There's not a ton of guys who get reliable weekly volume, even when it's not like in an ideal situation. I just want to go back. What are we looking at? 13 carries, 66 yards, 5 yards of carry, 16 carries, 36 carries, 21 carries, 24 carries, 17 carries. I mean, it's nothing happens without the ball in your hand. And so I guess that's the starting point. So like if I'm sitting here and I'm sorting out between guys with like similar anticipated workload and better offenses, I'd probably go with the guys in better offense. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Hopefully I can fix the sounds for the next show. All right. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. Matty Boy needs one for a PPR league. Chris Olave, don't play him this week. They're on bye. Christian Kirk or DJ Moore. I think I go Christian Kirk in this one. Sorry about the sound issue. Uh, Henderson or Rico. Rico. Let me see if if I look down the list here. Rico. Oh, Rico Dowdle. I'm probably going to play Henderson. Like I get it though. Rico's coming on a little bit for sure. I'm probably sticking with Howell in this one. Like guy leads the NFL in yardage. It's against the Giants. It should be tons of passing volume in this one as well. So I think Kyler's great, but I think it's hard to sit Howell right now. Yeah, I appreciate all the kind thoughts. It bums me out that I'm sitting here trying to, go through this and that, some of y'all can't hear it or it's not like a quality, you know, quality, uh, you know, time spent. I don't want to waste your time. I hate that. Rams defense plays Giants championship. I don't know. Rams defense plays Seattle. I don't know. I don't know where we're at. Dak or Mahomes this week. I could play Dak this week, but it's a great matchup for Mahomes. Just look at the rankings, see where we're at on that. What do we got? Dak at 5, Mahomes at 1. It's such a great matchup for Mahomes. If he can't cash in, it's going to be miserable. But Dak is doing better weekly production. I wouldn't talk you out, Bryce. Evans versus San Francisco or Adams versus Miami, half point PPR. Oh, I do like Evans this week. I'm going to go Adams. It's a slight lean. So, feel free to adjust as you see fit. What is the format? Half point people make Evans slightly more interested. It's very close. I'm going Adams. A few more minutes here and I'll call it a day and we'll go work on my sound. Let's see. Two, Kenneth Walker, Montgomery, Aaron Jones, or Brian Robinson. I think I would go Montgomery. It's between Walker and Brian Robinson. I like Brian Robinson a little bit more this week. Thielen or Amari Cooper. Probably play Thielen this week. Royce Freeman versus Seattle. Gabe Davis versus New York Giants. Or versus Pittsburgh. I'm going to go Royce Freeman and not feel great about it. But I still, maybe I'm stating the Gabe Davis. You're having worries about this offense, the change coordinators, all those things. I think this might be a game where the Bills actually outperform expectations. Not like the spot that Davis is in. I think all the other pieces might fare better. Going Freeman. I don't know. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dame. I appreciate the kind words. I still have a few more minutes if there's questions and you can still hear me. And again, I think we can sort this out. We've had to make some adjustments before. I thought with this new setup, the sound would be fine. It usually is. I used this before, so I'm not really sure what the issue is. What are my thoughts on Isaiah? Likely, is he worth a pickup? Likely worth a pickup. Definitely worth a pickup, right? I mean, so we were talking about this on the radio program this week, Mike Dempsey and I, and it feels like there's certain players you draft based on a very narrow band of information that was super encouraging, right? And the band of information we have on Likely from a year ago, the exhibition season, it was fantastic, right? But it was the exhibition season. Really, we didn't see much this game. I do think he's worth us. He's worth an ad. But I think there's a lot of tight ends I would probably be preferring to play. In the immediate short term until I see a little more. Charlie Kolar's there. They drafted him the same year. I think both of them went around fourth round. I have to without knowing. But yes, just the bottom line is yes. I think he's worth a pickup. Obviously, the role of the tight end is a big deal, but Mark Andrews is a special player. You heard Mark Jackson's comments after the game, calling him peanut butter is jelly, all the euphemisms. So yeah. So this is not an ideal situation, but some of those wide receivers seem to be coming off, right? Maybe it makes a little more room for Keaton Mitchell to do more things. Where the hell were you, Keaton Mitchell? Yeah, Odell Beckham. Dude, that was fantastic. Seeing him. So we saw, Nelson Aguilar catch a touchdown. That was an unusual play. It seemed like it's likely duplicated, but Rashad Bateman had a few minutes. So there's hope for this. I think Lamar Jackson's still really good. Gus Edwards, 9 touchdowns, 5 games. A lot to like there. Offline, FYI, thank you. Let's see what we got here. I'm not gonna beat myself up. I just don't like to. I don't like to waste people's time. Your time is valuable. Time is the most valuable commodity around here, so I don't like to waste your time, and I want to make this a quality experience for you. And so I will make some adjustments for the next show, and we'll get things sorted out. And next week there's no yard guys, so that helps as well. I think they're knocking on the door. So I think they want to get paid. Yeah. The nerve. All right, everybody. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and throw them in. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate you coming. Always appreciate everyone. Thank you, John. Appreciate you showing up every week. And again, if you're not seeing the site emails, go ahead and just go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and when shows come up, you should get a notification or an email on that as well. I will say, Jameson Williams, ever going to have a breakout? I'm starting to wonder if not. I was having a discussion with this with a colleague last night, and they're starting to feel like a bump, right? They went out and got Donovan Peoples-Jones in a trade because Jameson Williams can't catch a football. Seems like there's an issue there, right? So we've seen a narrow band of production. We've seen the big playability. We're not seeing that consistent kind of production we'd expect of a highly drafted player. I mean, we're getting to the point now where what's the excuse? Why can't he earn playing time ahead of Josh Reynolds? Right? That's hard to figure out. Jonathan, yeah. Oh no, John Cusack still hasn't found his cat. Keep looking. I've told you, I had a cat gone for 6 weeks. Came walking up out of clear blue after 6 weeks. So it happens. Here they hide out, they come back. I hope it works out for you. Appreciate that. Jonathan, I don't see the rest of the question there, so maybe I missed something earlier. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Well, I will go say hello to my cats. I'll go back and regroup, figure out my audio issues, and come back Wednesday night for On the Hot Seat. I'll have a fantastic guest. We need full vote. I'll go ahead and give you a pre. So be ready for that. Love Nate. He's a great time. Very informative, and love chopping it up with him. So thanks again for spending the time with me. Sorry for the audio issues. We will figure them out. And we will see you next time. Listen to me on the Football Diehards radio program tonight, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. That's on NFL Radio and on the Fantasy Channel. Chris Allen from Matthew Berry Fantasy Life will join us. So will Jim Calandro. Talk a little DFS. So check that out. The Chiefs, Eagles, as you would expect, will be our game of the week. So we'll have beat writers from those teams come in, tell us what they think. So we'll do that, and I'll see you here Wednesday. Thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate the time. We'll make it better next time. Over and out.